Welcome back to our debate on the existence of God and other religious issues. I'm Gary Wittenberger. This is my friend Furkan, and we're going to continue a debate that we started several weeks ago. We've had two sessions before this one, and now this is the third one. We thank everyone who has watched and listened to our debate on YouTube, and we hope that in the future you will continue watching as we get deeper and deeper into the primary issue. I'm going to turn on the timer now, and I'll begin with an opening statement related to something that we talked to last time, and then gradually we'll move into other questions on our list. Okay, Furkan, there was something that you said toward the end of last session that I wanted to ask you about. You said something like this: I believe in the existence of God with as much or more confidence than I believe in the existence of myself. And I was wondering if you would confirm that's what you said, and if so, explain what you mean and defend that statement, because it seemed a little bit odd to me that you would say something like that.
Okay, yeah, I think that was the answer to your question when you try to press to get an answer in percentage wise, and you want to basically respond your question that how certain I am in my belief in the existence of God, whether it is one is from 0 to 100%. You gave me the range and you want me to give you a number. So my point was and is that you can have a philosophical discussion about the certainty, and perhaps you can make a point and say that there is no way to be 100% sure even about your own existence, about the existence of the universe around you, because there are a lot of philosophical discussion on that one. So because after all, that's what you kind of define as a certainty is based on, in this case, either observation or feeling, or so that's my point was that when if you want to really get the number, then you might be right that we might not be able to say I have 100% certainty, with this in this case a philosophical understanding. But I wanted to kind of give you a clue that what is the level of my certainty in belief in God. And yes, I still make the very same argument. I say that when I look around, that when I see those unequivocal evidence, and when I reflect on them, reflect on myself, then I will say, yes, indeed, I can feel at this certain time that I have the certainty in my belief, and that certainty even could be greater than the certainty in my own existence, because I do not, when I reflect on the nature of my existence, when I understand the contingency of my existence, I cannot even define my existence without the necessary existent one. I cannot even claim that I could exist without the necessary existence one. For me, that's why I think that's a kind of the answer to explain the certainty in my belief.
Well, it seems to me right off the bat you're confusing existence with dependence. Those two ideas are completely separate. It seems irrational to me that you would, or it seems to me that you're being irrational to say the probability of your own existence is equal to or less than the existence of God. I mean, after all, you can see yourself. You just put your arm up like that and you can see yourself. You can touch yourself. You can smell yourself. You can taste yourself. You can hear yourself. So you have that kind of evidence that we put into that first category we call direct evidence of your own existence. You've already admitted that you and I don't have that kind of evidence for the existence of God. That's a higher level of evidence, and to say that you are more confident in God's existence than you are your own just seems bizarre to me. Surely you have a higher degree of belief. I mean, I hope you believe you're here today. I believe you're here today. I believe you exist. I believe that I exist. And that's a higher level of evidence than the evidence of inference. Inference is something that we think might be true based upon what we actually perceive in the world. And I can understand why you would think God might exist on that basis, but since you've never seen God, heard God, touched God, tasted God, smelled God, you've had no first-hand experience of God, how could you possibly think that the probability of his existence is equal to or greater than your own existence?
Yeah, I think that's basically in this case what you are actually getting the evidence based on the five senses as a kind of strong evidence, as kind of perhaps the key evidence to really to make a judgment about the existence of being. And I will say that could be a deception. So, and there are a lot of discussion on this, on our senses and whether what we experience is reality and whether we can trust our senses. And I don't want to actually go into this debate, but what I'm saying that to me, I will say logical necessity and an evidence to my mind is actually stronger than the sensual evidence to my senses. If I, through the eyes of my mind, look at the evidences, because after all, everything is just evidence. The question is that how you get this evidence and how you process the evidence and how you reach the certainty in your observation or your understanding. When I look at the evidence through the eyes of my mind, and when I try to do the reasoning by processing this evidence, now I will say that it really make me to reach the level of certainty without absolutely any doubt. So we can really, spend one session to discuss whether that could be, more certain than your body or not. What I'm saying that to me, I can even, but I don't want to go into this field, but I can make at least this argument. I can say, I am sure and certain in the existence of God as at least I am sure and certain in the existence of my own being. So that is, of course you have the right to ask me to say how you can reach such certainty. How can you be sure? What are the evidences that you see? That's definitely, those are a very reasonable question that need to be asked. But I will say, that's why last time I made a point. I said my belief in God is not based on faith. It's based on seeing the evidences and by witnessing the evidences for the existence of God. So and that's why I think today hopefully we will go through those evidences and see whether they are unequivocal evidences.
Well, I'm not convinced by what you said.